believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in our amazing world. Welcome to another episode on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And today we're going to be talking about unlocking your inner healer. And I've got a question for you. How many of you believe that you can heal yourselves? Sometimes we think we have to give that aspect of who we are over to something outside of ourselves. But after today's episode, I'm hoping that you will be inspired and curious about looking at the possibility of you claiming your sovereign right to your health and wellness. So, many of us have aches and pains in our bodies, and sometimes our first response is to just go running to the healthcare provider to get a pill and to get a diagnosis of all things, to label it so we could put it on a shelf and move forward. And I'm going to invite you to look at this from a different perspective. Just a little bit about my background. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I bridge the physical with the spiritual and the invisible with the visible. So in the healthcare world, and where I've been practicing for well over 45 years, there is a certain modality that is followed. And I'm just going to invite you to broaden your horizons and look at other possibilities, because there's more than one possibility to have a pathway to health and wellness. And we've been led to believe in the Western culture that we give that power away to something outside of ourselves. And in this case, it's like the doctor or the healthcare practitioner to give us the insight. And what I want to really address here is that you've lived in your body your whole entire life, okay? Some of us are in our 60s and 70s and beyond, and some of us are much younger. But you've lived in your body. You have a relationship with your body. You kind of know when something's off and something's not quite right. It's like we're misaligned. Yet, when you're able to go a little deeper within yourself and ask more questions as to why you're feeling this way, what you're feeling may not necessarily mean that I need to go stop the flow of that, jump into your head and do what we've been programmed to think we need to do, is go seek a source outside of ourselves to find out what is really happening to us on a deeper level. So this is where a lot of sovereignty and the word sovereignty comes up quite a bit. And I just want to define what sovereignty is. When we have our own healing ability, it's our innate wisdom and our sovereignty to have free will and choice as to what we're doing. But let's define sovereignty. It's about claiming your independence and taking responsibility for your own life journey. And sometimes when you're able to break this down, it comes into like inner power. It refers to the strength and confidence you have in yourself and your ability to make choices. It's about trusting your intuition and inner wisdom to guide you. And that's key, because I feel that a lot of people are so disconnected from themselves. They're in their head all the time, thinking about yesterday, contemplating tomorrow. When you're in your head, you're not in the present moment. When you're not in the present moment, you're not in the body. When you're in your body, this is where you are in the present moment. So your body is giving you responses. It's like your innate barometer that's guiding you to what is your next steps. The other part of that is self-determination. This means having the freedom to set your own course in life, following your values and passions. And it's not about being swayed by the external pressures or expectations. And trust me, we are so swayed by a lot of stuff in the external. And this creates so much uncertainty in our world because we're giving our power away to trusting what's outside of ourselves, the external world, versus what is near and dear to your heart and what's correct for you and only you. Okay. There's been a disconnect with that. And I see this quite a bit being in the healthcare arena when people come in to have their surgeries, because I spend a lot of time in the surgery realm as an assistant surgeon. And I've assisted on well over 20,000 surgical procedures in the last 30 years. And I still do this part time in addition to coaching and mentoring and everything else that I do, podcasting and speaking and stuff like that. But I find that when you're able to integrate and blend, the wisdom that you get from Western medicine, and I'm not saying that Western medicine is bad. It's like there is a place for everything in the world. Sometimes we just give way too much power to something that has that they don't know, they know very little about who you are, because I say to people, you've lived in your Taj Mahal your whole entire life, right? So you kind of know what it can handle and what it does and how it feels. And sometimes when we don't listen to that and we bypass that and give our power away to something outside of ourselves, in this case, going to the healthcare practitioner, we may be getting labeled with something that may not even be true, yet we take that on as our truth and we start creating it for ourselves. So I'm just bringing awareness to the fact that it's important to really trust your instincts and to feel what you're feeling. And if there's a somatic pain to it, or maybe you have a pain in your knee or something, maybe it's about going deeper into that pain to find out within you what is occurring on a deeper level. Many of us are going through ascension and ascension processes right now. And what happens is that when you have these somatic type of experiences where you feel things in your body, yes, they mimic things like, maybe GI problems or even cardiac conditions or whatever. And by all means, go to the emergency department if you're having chest pain, because we don't know that, but it's just to trust that. And that's where you blend the two together. Sometimes it's just you getting an energetic download and your body is like rebooting itself energetically, like a computer would be rebooted once it gets an upgrade. Okay. We're getting upgrades. And sometimes our body is recalibrating itself to the higher frequency, and it acts like, we're having chest pain or whatever. And sometimes when we just lie down and rest, it kind of bypasses, and well, I wouldn't say bypasses, it passes through us and we're able to integrate it and become one with the higher frequency. So a lot of this has been going on, and this is not new. It's called ascension symptoms. I want to say it's probably been going on since 2012. And I know lots of people have gone to the emergency department, and even the emergency care doctors were even saying that people would come in with all these vague symptoms that mimicked certain things like a heart attack or, abdominal obstruction. And they would run batteries of tests and they would all come back normal. And then the patient would be fine and then would walk out of there. So it's something that is occurring more regularly now. And I think as all of us are ascending, you're going to see this happening more frequently. So this is a little step for you if you're starting to have somatic, pains in your body that come out of nowhere and you're like, now what? I invite you to sit with a now what and go deeper and feel and just have a dialogue with what is going on. It's that simple. And it may be just an ability to acknowledge that something is happening is enough to flip a switch. This is how quickly healing is happening. Okay. So, when your sovereignty is also part of your sovereignty is also part of your spirituality. And we go into more what we call spiritual sovereignty. And it refers to the idea that you are a divine being with a unique spark. It's about claiming your connection to something larger than yourself and aligning yourself with your purpose. It emphasizes you are not beholden to external forces or dogma, and you have the power to cultivate your own spiritual path, connect with the divine in the way that feels authentic to you. So it's really about stepping into trusting yourself, trusting that innate wisdom that comes through because it is the correct thing for you. Now, I'm just going to share a funny story about that because it's fresh off the press. It happened 2 days ago. I came back from I just recently returned from a trip to the Black Hills, a solo trip, and it was a spiritual journey for me. And I'm driving. If anybody's never been to South Dakota, there's a lot of unpaved roads, but they're dirt roads going all over the place. It's like their mapping system and their road system. It's pretty interesting. So I went to this one place called Teepee Canyon, and I followed my GPS to get out there. And on the way out, the GPS like died. There was no signal. And so I'm like going through these roads and I'm like, oh my God. And I could feel myself starting to go down the rabbit hole because I was looking for something external to guide me. Okay. No less. And yet I just I sat there and I was on the verge of tears and I'm like screaming and yelling. And I'm like, I've got a quarter of a tank of gas and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going down the rabbit hole of beating myself up and you should have known better, blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't have came out here, blah, blah, blah. And that wasn't the case. This was part of my journey, was about trusting that the roads will lead me to where I need to go. I just need to trust that innate wisdom within me. And sure enough, I did end up going someplace and actually getting back to my original destination quicker because of that guidance that I was getting in the downloads and also following that. So important thing, just when you think you're on the cusp of, you got it all together, the universe is going to throw you a curveball. And it did in this case because, here we are relying on GPS, the electronic stuff. If you have no cell signal, you're like, okay, now what? So you need to like kind of adjust and learn how to trust the wisdom that you're getting and move through whatever fears that are coming up for you. Because, I even was going down the road. What if I don't make my flight home? And it's just like, and I had to just take a deep breath and stop it. And then everything kind of fell into place and I just learned how to trust that voice. So I'm just saying that this was hot off the press and it was perfect for today. So some of the other things that are important to remember about sovereignty, it's about developing your intuition, setting boundaries, and following your passions and exploring your spirituality. And, whether it's through religion or meditation or simply connecting with nature, finding your own spiritual path empowers you. So we're going to be getting ready to go on our first break. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about unlocking your inner healer. So stay tuned. And when we come back, we'll share some more.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm your host, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about tapping in and unlocking your innate healer. And for those of you who may not believe this, we do have an innate healer within us. It's our inner wisdom that's allowing the information that is only right for you, not your neighbor, not your spouse, not your kids, but for you, to allow you to excel on your journey in this lifetime. And we were talking about sovereignty before the break. And, sovereignty is our own innate ability and our divine right to claim our power and to walk and step into that, because we're here on earth because of free will, and because of free will we make choices, and sometimes the choices that we make, we consciously or unconsciously give our power away. So we're talking today about really harnessing that power and taking it back and allowing yourself to listen to that inner wisdom that is your God spark, your intuition, that's going to allow you to move in the right direction for you. So trusting your inner healer is crucial for unlocking your body's natural ability to heal and promoting overall well-being. And here's why: because that inner wisdom is your body's inherent intelligence and understanding of its needs. And it will guide, if you allow yourself to listen to it, it'll guide you to what is next for you. It'll tell you when you need to eat. It'll tell you what you need to eat. It will tell you what you need to do. As long as you allow yourself to receive the information you are getting from that and not second guessing it. That's the key right there, because we get these intuitive hits and then we talk ourselves out of it almost in a flash of an instant. So it's allowing yourself to receive this information and just sitting and mulling with it instead of being reactive and flipping into your head and, trying to play whack-a-mole with this intuitive knowledge. You're getting these little hits and then you're whacking it because you're reacting to it. So that's a good visual, I guess, for people who are visual learners. It's about empowerment. When you trust your inner healer, you take charge of your health journey. You become less reliant on the external forces and more attuned to your body's internal signals. And this empowers you to make informed decisions and advocate for your own well-being. Trust that. There are times when things are happening to you and in your heart of hearts and your soul of souls that something's off. By all means, trust that, especially when the external may be telling you you're crazy or it's not there or we can't find anything. And it's not about being a hypochondriac. It's about, yourself well enough and something's off. It's that spidey sense, for those people who are parents and stuff, that you just know when something's off with your kid, right? So trust that. You're getting information that something's off with you. So trust that. And don't rely on the outside sometimes to give you the influence that you need. Just trust what you're getting. And a lot of times we're just learning how to call back pieces of who we are on a very deep level that we left in another place and time. And that might be a little stretch for people. So let me explain that a little better. When things happen to us, that are very traumatic, it's like part of our soul fractures off a little bit and gets caught in that time and place. And sometimes it's an unconscious thing and it keeps looping and it keeps running our show. When we have a somatic experience, like say, our knees bothering you and you tap into that, you could see and feel and experience where that feeling is, especially if it's showing up in your knee and why it's there. And when you're able to focus your energy on that pain that you're feeling and surround it with so much unconditional love and acceptance and just loving it to death, you're able to call that part of you that has been lost in another time and place back to your soul so you become more complete and whole. It's really that simple. Our natural tendency is when we have a pain is to medicate it, numb it out, and to push it away instead of just embracing it and loving it and appreciating for what it is. It's a part of you that wants to come home to you. And I feel that many of us are going through massive changes right now. And it's almost like going through 50 shades of pain and symptoms, might be emotions too, that they're all combined with somatic parts that are, it's locked energy that's in our body that's from another time and place. And it's not about reliving everything. It's just focusing on what you are experiencing right now and the pain where it is and calling back the pieces of yourself and with just a lot of love, self-compassion, self-love, self-compassion and appreciation and loving and honoring that and respecting that. You'll be surprised when you start utilizing this and using it as one of your tools, you are going to be able to get more of your energy back into you. You'll probably feel more alive because you're calling back more of your soul that got fragmented off in another time and place. Okay, it's that simple. So knowing that as well, intuitive awareness, trusting your inner healer strengthens your intuition. And this is all about the more you do it, your intuition is going to grow and develop. Plus, because you're going to be more present in your body because you don't have the outliers of the octopus with the tentacles coming from you, trying to control these different aspects of yourself that are lost in another time and place. You're calling all back your power from all different directions and allowing it to reintegrate within yourself. So it's also going to reduce your stress and anxiety because stress and anxiety are triggers for something deeper that's going on within yourself. When you're able to get below that stress and anxiety to find out where it is coming from, it's allowing your inner healer to promote more of an essence of who you are, but it's going to allow you to heal what's writing that, okay, and creating the stress and the anxiety, and it's going to dissipate that, and it's going to resolve, and you're going to be able to reintegrate that energy into yourself. Stress and anxiety are just the tip of an iceberg of something that deeper that's going on underneath, and a lot of times it's unconscious patterning or unconscious beliefs or blockages that are there that are putting you on notice that it's time to look at why this is so. And so many of us, have gone to our doctors because we're stressed and you have an anxiety, and they give you medication. So it helps with that and it dampens that, but it never gets to the root cause of what is contributing and triggering you to have the stress and the anxiety. So that's something to consider as well. You're also going to become more open to healing by trusting your inner healer. You open yourself to the possibility of healing even in challenging situations. And this is a positive outlook that fosters resilience and allows you to approach challenges with the belief that your body has a capacity to heal and overcome. Now, I want to address this issue too, because when we talk from the Western medicine perspective, people say, oh, that's the placebo effect. Well, yes and no, but it's a belief. And if you believe that you can be healed, remember the power of intention and the law of attraction. When you're focusing on seeing yourself complete and whole, maybe Western medicine considers that a placebo, but it's your belief. And a lot of times your belief creates your reality. So it's something to really consider and to explore as well. So who is our inner healer? That's like the $1 million question. So our inner healer is people say it's a concept and stuff, but it's a powerful and innate force within us that works towards our well-being on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, ancestral, and dimensional level. It's not a separate entity, but it kind of matrixes everything that we are together. So we're able to tap into all that wisdom that we have and a capacity to heal. So here's some things that you might want to consider when you're thinking about your inner healer. Okay, innate intelligence. This perspective emphasizes the body's natural ability to heal itself from wounds and illnesses. Our immune system and our capacity to recover from injuries are examples of this inner healing at work. It's just like you cut your finger and the next day it's healed. Okay, so that is like innate intelligence. Our body knows what to do when we are wounded. The other things to think about with our inner healer is resilience and resourcefulness. Our inner healer is a part of us that helps us navigate challenges and bounce back from setbacks. It allows us to find strength and resources within ourselves to cope with difficult situations. So it's almost like allowing us to go deep within ourselves. I want to say it's proverbial, put on your boots and pull them up and just keep walking. And it's our wise self. This view sees the inner healer as the source of inner wisdom and guidance. It's a part of us that knows what we truly need and helps us make choices that promote our overall well-being. So, while some of these things are different, may have different names, with traditions and stuff like that, like vitality, chi, and prana, the core idea is that we all have this potential for self-healing. So, how do we tap into this? Well, you do mind. It's about, and I talk a lot about this on the Dr. Dolores Show because I'm all about helping people tap into their inner wisdom and their innate healing ability. And it all starts with trusting your instincts. Okay, that little voice within ourselves that whispers to you, because sometimes you can't hear it unless you're really still, or that intuitive feeling that you get. It's all the same thing. Like you get this gut response that you should be going in one direction, or when you're heading in the wrong direction, you could just feel it, something's off. Trust that and learn how to develop that. And when you find that you pop into your head and talk yourself out of it, you know that you've had those situations before where you got this download of information that you should be doing something. Your mind talked you out of that. You didn't do it, and then you live to regret it. We've all had experiences like that. So maybe it's time to start trusting that intuition. You could do that by mind-body practices. And what do we mean by mind-body? Mindfulness activities. It could be as formal as going into, sitting in lotus position and going into quiet meditation, to just being out in nature, going barefoot on the grass and grounding yourself with the earth. Anything that's going to allow you to be in your body. Sometimes we have people who are creative and they lose, when they start drawing or whatever creative activity they do, they lose all sense of time and space. This is what a mindful activity is. Anything that allows you to go and be fully present in the moment and you lose all sense of time and space. It's that simple. It could be playing with your favorite pet. It could be gardening. It could be doing art. It could be going for a run on the beach. For me, sometimes a mindful activity is getting in the car and driving for hours and just exploring, because I'm right there in the present moment and I'm allowed to enjoy what I'm seeing and all the new scenery that's around me. So make it your own. Deep breathing is another thing too. Many of us are shallow breathers, and sometimes we hold our breath, and this is something interesting. You may want to revisit the time of your birth and ask your parents or your mother, if she's still around with us, what your birth was like, because sometimes that's a key piece to why you hold your breath. Anyway, it's time for our next break. I can't believe it. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and we are going to go to our next break. See you on the other side.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with Nurse Practitioner, Medical Intuitive, and Energy Whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, Nurse Practitioner, Medical Intuitive, and Energy Whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, Nurse Practitioner, Medical Intuitive, and Energy Whisperer. And we've been talking about unlocking your innate, your inner healer. I call it innate because it's innate wisdom. And, before break, we were talking about what are some of the ways you could tap into your innate healing ability. And we touched on the importance of mind-body practices and mindfulness. And we were talking about deep breathing and how sometimes when we are born, if you had a very difficult labor, your mother was laboring for a long period of time and you were stuck, you had to hold your breath. So you might have just held your, bear down like you were holding your breath. And sometimes that's, has a lot to do with how you kind of show up in the world today and how you kind of cope with things too. That's going to be another episode on the Dr. Dolores Show. We're going to talk about what happens at your birth and how you could look at things in the future and unravel things and heal those up as well. But circling back here, some of the ways that you could tap into your innate healing ability is, deep breathing and stuff like that, because once you deep breathe, you're actually physically in your body. And some lifestyle practices, of course, healthy diet and listening to your body, what it needs, and honoring that, because some of us say, oh, I shouldn't be eating this. And we kind of control ourselves because of what external society is saying. And I think it's really important that you nourish your body with whole, unprocessed foods and just listen to what your body is wanting to eat and allow yourself to eat that. Because when you allow yourself to eat that, you will eat that and then you're complete with that, instead of it being an addiction to food and, wanting to numb the pain or whatever. So a lot of us do that. We emotional eat. So quality of sleep is important too. Getting enough sleep allows your body to rest, repair, and recharge, and also to process what you're going through. Too many of us seem to want to light the candle at both ends, and in the middle, that means doing way too much. And it's really not about doing anymore. It's about just allowing yourself to receive what's happening and working in tandem with your physical body, your mental, emotional, spiritual, mental, and dimensional and ancestral health, all coming together and working together and playing nicely in the sandbox. Exercise, it's important for physical activity. And for those of us who don't like exercise, I invite you to take baby steps with this. And it's really important. You need to move your body so it allows everything to function a lot better, so it's in harmony with the whole tapestry of who you are. Spending time in nature, a big yes, please. You need to immerse yourself in nature, and it's such a great stress reducer. It improves your mood and enhances your feelings of well-being. And just observing nature and the animals that come across your path are so essential And if you're ever curious about that, pay attention to the animals that do come across your path, because I consider them spiritual messengers. And you could either Google spiritual meaning of like a chipmunk or spiritual meaning of an owl and just find out the information that it's sharing with you. It'll be great, insightful, and it'll really give you the validation that everything is like interwoven together and they're messengers. Okay. Do your inner work. And I think it's important that people understand inner work is not about reliving things and beating yourself up. It's about being self-compassionate without judging or criticizing what you did in the past, and just offering so much self-love, self-compassion to that, especially those of us who have a tendency to beat ourselves up habitually. And it's about, okay, you're starting to judge and criticize yourself. Just say the word self-compassion and just repeat self-compassion, self-compassion, and feel self-compassion. Use it as a mantra, and it actually helps you switch that and to flip that. Be grateful, and if you haven't established a gratitude practice, really consider that, because gratitude is, I think it's a secret sauce for raising your vibration. And when you are grateful for the things that you have, even though we label them as bad situations, there's always a gold nugget there for you. And it's so important that you really tap into that and just be appreciative for where you are in life, even though it may not be where you want to be. Just be grateful and appreciative for what you have. And you're going to see more and more magic starting to happen, because more and more things will present themselves for you to be grateful and appreciative of. Journaling, automatic writing is huge. I always like to start the day sometimes with the date up there, and it's like, show me my next steps, and just start writing. You'd be surprised at what kind of comes through in your writing without analyzing or criticizing or judging it. Just allow itself to flow. After you're done journaling, when you're done, you go back and read it, and you're like, wow, did I really say that? Did that really come through me? You'll get some great insight into what's going on with yourself. And then, exploring alternative therapies. So what we mean by that, like acupuncture, massage therapy, yoga, anything that's going to help promote relaxation as well-being, but allow you to get more into your body. So the whole key is about you getting into your body and learning to have a relationship with yourself. So I'm going to segue into a very short meditation, because I feel it's very important for people to learn how to connect with that innate wisdom within themselves. And this will give you a demonstration of what it's like. So I'm just going to invite you to find a quiet place where you can sit or lie down comfortably. And when you're ready, just close your eyes gently and soften your gaze if that feels better. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly and deeply through your nose and exhaling completely through your mouth. And just do that for a couple of more times, and know that with each exhale, release any tension you may be holding in your body. Now bring your attention to your physical body. Start with your toes. Wiggle them gently, feeling the connection between your mind and your body. And just scan your body, moving upwards, moving up your legs, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your pelvis, your abdomen, your diaphragm, your chest, your heart, your shoulders, down your arms, all the way to your fingertips, and then back up your arms all the way to your neck, through your head and out the top of your head. Continue slowly acknowledging each part of your body without judgment. So just go through and just feel the different parts of your body, and just make note where there is maybe some tension or some discomfort. And it's not about judging or criticizing. It's just allowing it to be as it is. So now shift your focus to your breath and feel the cool air enter your nostrils as you inhale and the warmth leaving your body as you exhale. Imagine your breath as a bridge connecting your mind and body. With each inhale, draw in a sense of calm and peace. With each exhale, release any worries or anxieties you may be holding onto. Visualize a safe and peaceful space within yourself. It could be a meadow bathed in sunlight, a cozy cabin nestled in the woods, or anything that feels calming and restorative to you. Spend a moment in this inner sanctuary, feeling the sense of security and peace it brings. Now imagine a wise and compassionate figure residing in this inner sanctuary. This is your inner healer, a part of you that possesses the wisdom and strength to guide you towards healing. Greet your inner healer with kindness and respect. Silently ask your inner healer for guidance on an area of your life that needs healing. It could be physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, ancestral, dimensional. Be open to any sensations, images, or words that may arise. Imagine your inner healer placing a hand on the area that needs healing. Feel a warm, radiant light emanating from your hand, infusing you with a sense of peace and well-being. Allow this light to wash away any pain or discomfort you may be experiencing. Take a moment to express gratitude to your inner healer for their presence and guidance. Feel the healing energy integrating into your being, filling you with renewed strength and vitality. When you feel ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing your awareness back to your physical body. Take a few deep breaths, feeling grounded and centered. Open your eyes at your own pace, carrying the sense of peace and healing with you throughout your day. So welcome back, everybody. And how was that for you? Were you able to connect to your inner healer and get some wisdom about what is going on for you? This is a very simple way to tap in, tune in, and access the information that is pertinent for you on your journey. So we're going to segment into another break right now. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, where we're talking about unlocking your inner healer today. So stay tuned when we come back and we'll give it a wrap up.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with Nurse Practitioner, Medical Intuitive, and Energy Whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, Nurse Practitioner, Medical Intuitive, and Energy Whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our little 5-minute guided meditation to allow you to connect with your inner healer. And if you really enjoy this show, I just please give us a 5-star review on iTunes and search the Dr. Dolores Show. I will be very grateful, and this will assist in getting the information out to those who need it. So, and you also heard on the infomercial too that what's going to be happening, it's got some exciting news. Come beginning of August 6th to be exact, a colleague of mine, Cozy Stankaitis, and I are creating this program called I'm Awake, Now What? It's for those people who have woken up and have begun their spiritual journey, because so many of us don't have a reference point as to what's next for us. And life had been working on the external greatly until all of a sudden it wasn't, and life seems to be falling apart. But when it's like this, it's really falling into place. So it's a program, it's a monthly membership, and it's launching August 6, 2024. And you could get more information at drdoloresfazzino.com/I'm-awake-now-what. And you could sign up and you'll have a live and recorded session with Cozy Stankaitis and I. Cozy is a bodywork practitioner and I'm a medical intuitive. So we work with people together and we offer insights, tools, and support for you on your ascension journey. So before break, we talked about and we did a nice guided meditation for you. So I invite you to go back to that. And, some of the takeaways today from our episode, I just want to recap what we've been talking about. We are all here. We all have an innate healing ability, and sometimes we forget that. And the inner healer within us is a powerful force, and it works towards our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and ancestral and dimensional well-being. And it can be accessed through anything, that allows us to be focused in our body and be in the present moment. It's our sovereign right to have lasting health and true wellness. And it's not just a dream, it's a birthright. And you need to claim that for yourself so you could change your health and nurturing. You could create more. I can't even talk. You can create more health and nurture your inner well-being. Self-care is a key to unlocking your healing power. It's about having a relationship with your body, mind, and soul and becoming your own best friend and listening to the innate and subtleties that send you on the right direction, as simple as what to eat next and how to be and what activities to do. And if your body's asking for rest, it's about listening to what is the right thing for you, not what everybody else is telling you on the outside, but what is the right thing for you? It's about listening to your body. It's constantly communicating with you. Pay attention to your physical sensations and emotional cues. They are always there for us. And they are areas of, they identify areas that need healing and guide you to self-care practices. So I always tell people, feel what it's going like and just ask what's your next step and allow yourself to be led. Wherever you're feeling like you're leaning or being drawn to something, this is probably the right next step for you. It's about learning to trust those little nudges that the universe is giving you. There may be a disconnect from your mind and body, which I see this a lot in my practice in Western medicine. The body's doing one thing and the mind is doing something else, and they're not playing nicely in the sandbox. It's like there are two different things happening in tandem, and it's about really integrating the mind with the body and allowing those two to play nicely in the sandbox. So it's not about, it's about learning to trust what you're getting and allowing your inner wisdom to come through. And it's also about allowing your mind to be at peace, but also to allow it to receive what you're receiving from your innate wisdom. There may be, some other things too, just to remember. If this is something that you're on a journey with, by all means, contact me. I'm more than happy to give you insight and help you on your path. And just really think about joining us in August on I'm Awake, Now What? Because we're going to talk about the importance of the body, mind, and soul connection as well on your path through ascension. So I think one of the most important things I could leave you with in a quote is, within you is the strength and the healing power, the wisdom you seek. Trust yourself, embrace your inner healer. The other thing I want to say too is just remember, you're not alone. You are on a journey to well-being, and within you lies a powerful force for healing, your inner healer. This is the wise and compassionate guide that possesses the knowledge to help you navigate challenges, overcome obstacles, and blossom into the healthiest version of yourself. Start by cultivating trust in this inner wisdom. Listen to your body's whispers, your intuitive nudges. They are guiding you towards the truly nourishing aspects that you need: a healthy diet, restorative sleep, moments of peace in nature. Embrace these practices that bridge the gap between you and your body. As you nurture the connection within your inner healer, a powerful transformation unfolds. You will become more empowered to make choices that resonate with your deepest needs, and you will discover a wellspring of resilience within yourself. You open yourself to the possibility of healing, even in the face of challenges. So take a moment right now, close your eyes, and connect with that wise presence within. Thank your inner healer for this constant guidance, and know with unwavering belief that you have the power to heal and thrive. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start yours today and trust the incredible healer that resides within you. So next week on the Dr. Dolores Show, we're going to be talking about that inner critic within us. And we called our episode Befriending Your Inner Critic. So does that nagging voice in your head constantly point out your flaws and hold you back from going for your dreams? That, my dear, is your inner critic. And next week, we're going to learn how to better embrace that and allow that to play nicely in the sandbox with us as well. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Hang on to yourself, buckle your seatbelts, and know that you are...
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.